Thanks for tuning in to Steel City Football, the 4-1-2. It's a great day to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Let's jump right in. So DK Metcalf, he says he thinks that this Pittsburgh Steelers defense is the best defense that he's ever seen. Now, a lot of people will chalk that up to, oh, well, he's just saying that because he's new. I don't think so. The way DK Metcalf carries himself, he seems like a real serious type of guy. The work that he puts in, his attitude, his demeanor, I don't think he's just throwing around compliments just to throw them around whatsoever. I think if they were horrible, he would probably say it. But he came out and he said this is the best defense that he's ever seen. And you know why that's important? Because the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I really don't like saying this, they share the division with the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson, who is a very difficult offense to stop. And then things get even crazier when the Pittsburgh Steelers play the Cincinnati Bengals. So those are two of the top offenses in the entire National Football League. That's why it's super serious when it comes to the divisional opponents that we must win the division games. You got to win the division to win the Super Bowl. And two powerhouses other than the Pittsburgh Steelers are in the division. I mean, obviously, the Cleveland Browns are the weakest link to the group because of their bad decision-making. Could you imagine if the Cleveland Browns didn't get rid of Baker Mayfield and all that money that the Cleveland Browns wasted on Deshaun Watson? Could you imagine if Baker Mayfield was in this division also? I mean, that would just be a murderous row of divisional opponents week in and week out. Baker Mayfield is playing phenomenal football. And remember, the Pittsburgh Steelers could have drafted Lamar Jackson, but we didn't. We could have signed Baker Mayfield to a free agency deal, but we didn't. Hey, ever since the Pittsburgh Steelers passed on the great one, Dan Marino, the hometown kid, the kid that grew up a block away from the stadium, in a lot of ways, the Pittsburgh Steelers have been cursed when it comes to quarterbacks. But that's a whole different video. So let's see what DK Metcalf had to say. DK Metcalf thinks the Steelers' defense is the best he's ever seen. I would agree with you. I think they're the best defense I've ever seen. Metcalf said Sunday after practice on NFL Network's Inside Training Camp Live. Yeah, there's some dogs everywhere on the field, and I tip my hat to him because they come to work every day, and we don't have a choice but to get better. Let's hear from DK himself.
DK Metcalf is, in fact, sitting down with me, Ian Rappaport, Steve Smith Sr. There is the man himself. Just watched a very intense padded practice, the 6th day in a row, I believe, of pads. You've just gotten through it, so congratulations. You were on the other side. How's it been, man? What's going on?
Man, it's been fun here. Just getting to know my teammates, throwing with Aaron, getting to know him more. Just being in Pittsburgh, seeing these awesome fans, man. It's been like 10K plus every day I've been out here. So, you see, how much history this franchise or organization carries, and just to be a part of it, I'm just, happy to be here.
Well, you don't want to, but there has to be a comparison. You're in Seattle, now you come here. What has been one of the things that you have not known by being here now that has surprised you?
Nothing. I don't compare places because they're two different, organizations. I enjoyed a lot of my time in Seattle, and thankful that they gave me an opportunity to put my mark on this league. But now my focus is here with Pittsburgh, and like I said, man, these fans are great. Coach T is great. Aaron, Mason, like all the quarterbacks and receivers and everybody I've met has been loving me with open arms, and just happy that I'm here, and I'm happy to be here as well.
So while there was all the speculation about but you and Aaron eventually maybe sort of becoming teammates, there was a very famous throwing session you and Aaron had. I believe there was a couple of them over the course of the spring and summer. You guys worked on, kind of building your rapport. And, at least I would start to hear like, all right, they look like they have a connection. Now that you've been out here throwing with them, have you felt that, and do you think that time helped?
Yes, sir. It does help, but getting those live team reps is nothing like, getting, the 11-on-11 reps with the QB center exchange, making sure the O-line has the blocking assignments, going against that reckless defense that we got on the other side of the ball. Every play I get to go against either JPJ, Jalen, or Slay, so I'm always getting better in that aspect. So, I mean, yeah, the off-season workout helps, but it doesn't compare to real football once you put the ball down in training camp and, helmets are clashing and everything.
Now, you've been playing in the NFC West, and all of a sudden, when you were in Seattle going against the Rams with Jalen Ramsey, and then all of a sudden now you both are here. How has those practices been? Because you're no longer opponents.
Right.
You're teammates. But you still want to make catches, and he wants to get PBUs and picks. How does that healthy competition not get a little bit too fiery?
I mean, we both understand that we teammates. One thing I've always respected about Jalen was his competitive edge, and every time we stepped on the field, it was always, I'm not going to let you win, and vice versa. But now that we teammates, first one-on-one rep, we always jump up there, shake each other's hand, and let's work, and then that's it. So, I mean, just having him here, like I said, man, Slay, Joey Porter Jr., Juan Thornhill, Deshaun Elliott, like all those guys on the back end, they got my respect because they're ultimate competitors. But off the field, man, we can chop it up about anything and chill in the lunchroom, play cards together. Like it's tight out here.
Oh, that's dope.
I want to talk about that. I mean, I know you're on offense, but I want to talk about the defense a little bit. You see them every day in practice. You've been around and faced some very good defenses in practice in Seattle. Do you have a sense now? I mean, it looked really good out there. Do you have a sense for how good the Steelers' defense could be?
And you don't want my opinion because I think they're the best defense I've ever seen. And
really?
Yeah, like there's some dogs everywhere on the field, and I tip my hat to them because they come to work every day, and we don't have any choice but to get better.
Well, you have a loaded wide receiver room right now with the acquisition of you and then some of the last couple of years of draft picks. How do you see Robert Woods is obviously the older
Right.
statesman, but how do you see this room kind of shaping up? You've been in the league a long time, so you know that you can see which guys have it, which guys don't, that you can tell there's some guys who can really surprise some people.
Yes, sir. Like Calvin Austin, like Roman Wilson, like Scotty Miller. I mean, we got dogs everywhere around the room, and a lot of people, don't give them the respect that they deserve. And in due time, it's gonna come. But like I said, man, just like the defense comes out there and work, the offense does the same thing day in, day out. No complaining. They go out there banged up every play, every day of practice, and you don't hear anything about them. They just go out there and work, and that's one thing I can respect about not only the defense, but this whole team. And then, like, just speaking on the receiver room, we have our own identity, and I think that's what's going to make us special, because the outside noise doesn't carry any weight in this organization or in our room. Like, we gonna always be us, and we gonna always put our identity on the game.
There's been, over the last, I would say 2 years for you, there's always been a discussion of, like, are you going to get a new contract, or maybe you're going to get traded? Like, that, feel like that was going on for quite a while. You did get traded. You have a great new contract. Is there a piece from you now that all that is over? Does that make you hungrier? Like, mindset-wise, where did all that put you now that you've landed and gotten the deal?
Just trying to set my mark here, just like I did in Seattle, or do it even better. It's a new opportunity, a new place, a new role that I can, step into and just continue to be myself. And Mr. Omar and Mike T saw something in me in Seattle that they wanted me over here, so I'm just going to continue to be myself and bring that here, but also bring the younger guys with me, whoever that may be. If they have any questions for me, I'm going to answer it to the best of my ability, but also give them the free will to make the decisions on their own.
You now, obviously, like, you want to make your mark. So what does DK Metcalf want? How does he want to leave his mark on the NFL?
Man, I just want to win a Super Bowl. That's it. I think all the, personal accolades, everything else is going to take care of itself. If I just come out here and work hard, and just, take care of my brothers that's on the field to my right and my left, everything else is going to take care of itself.
It's going to be really fun to see how all that takes care of itself here. This is a Steelers team that should be really, really good. Big reason why here, DK Metcalf. Man, thank you very much for joining us, and good luck this camp.
You got to absolutely love DK Metcalf. I am absolutely thrilled that Coach Tomlin saw the light, said goodbye to George Pickens, and gave DK Metcalf a huge contract. This is what a professional looks like. This is what a Jerry Rice looks like in 2025. Bigger, faster, stronger, with the same type of attitude. So the Pittsburgh Steelers absolutely hit it out of the park with this decision to bring DK Metcalf in to the most violent division in all of football, the new bully in town, the guy that shows up and gives you everything that he has on every single play, who blocks, who's super physical. Just think about, as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, when George Pickens used to be sitting in that seat answering questions, sucking the air out of the room, acting like an immature child, just being a complete dick when every single person on the planet in Pittsburgh, the coaches, everybody wanted him to succeed. Nothing was ever good enough for him or his dad, acting like a child with his book bag. I cannot say enough bad things about George Pickens. Can't stand him. And I feel the total opposite about DK Metcalf. Your attitude is everything in the National Football League. Everybody's talented in the National Football. Everybody. The third string guy is talented. Everybody can run. Everybody can do this and that. If your attitude sucks and your attitude is off, guess what? You're going to suck. And DK Metcalf is the total opposite of George Pickens. His demeanor, he's not just throwing a compliment out there and saying, oh, well, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the best defense I've ever seen, because he's excited to be with a new team. He absolutely means it. This is great news for the Pittsburgh Steelers. With that being said, thanks for tuning in to Steel City Football, the 4-1-2.